Every neighborhood hides small mysteries, the kind that pass unnoticed because people are busy with their routines. But sometimes one small detail refuses to stay invisible. Before we continue, pause for a moment and look at the comments section right now. Write the name of the city where you are watching this video from. It's always fascinating to see how far these stories travel and where people are listening from. And if stories about strange nightly events, quiet neighborhoods, and mysteries that slowly unfold catch your attention, take a second to subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next story. Now imagine living on a calm street called Pine Hollow Drive, where nothing unusual ever seems to happen. That's exactly where a man named Daniel lived. At first, the thing that caught his attention didn't seem dangerous, dramatic, or even important. It was simply a garage door across the street. A door that opened every single night at the exact same time, as if something inside the house was following a rule no one else understood. Across from Daniel's home stood a small gray house with a narrow driveway and a garage that looked exactly like any other on the street. Nothing about it suggested anything unusual. During the day, it remained silent. The driveway was empty, the windows closed, the yard perfectly still. But every night at precisely 11:42 p.m., something strange happened. The garage door would slowly rise halfway, stop for about 30 seconds, and then quietly close again. No car ever drove out. No footsteps appeared in the driveway. No voices came from inside. The movement happened with mechanical precision, like a routine programmed into the house itself. At first, Daniel assumed it was just a malfunctioning timer. Maybe the owner didn't realize the system was broken. But after watching the same thing happen night after night for 2 weeks without a single change in timing, the explanation began to feel less convincing. The door never opened earlier, never later, not even by a few seconds. Curiosity slowly turned into obsession. Daniel began paying closer attention to the pattern. Each night around 11:30, he would sit by the living room window with his phone in hand, pretending to scroll through messages while his eyes remained fixed on the house across the street. Pine Hollow Drive was the kind of neighborhood where nights were incredibly quiet. After dark, the loudest sounds were usually distant dogs barking or wind moving softly through the trees. But the moment the garage motor started humming, Daniel felt a strange tension fill the air. The house belonged to an older man named Mr. Harlan, someone known for keeping to himself. In the 4 years Daniel had lived on the street, they had only exchanged a few short greetings. Mr. Harlan rarely spoke to anyone, and almost never left his property during the day. At the time, Daniel never thought much about it. But now, with that mysterious nightly ritual repeating without explanation, the silence surrounding the house began to feel heavier. One night, Daniel decided watching from behind the window was no longer enough. If he wanted answers, he needed to get closer. At exactly 11:35 p.m., he stepped outside and walked slowly toward his mailbox, pretending to check something on his phone. The night air was cool and still, and the streetlights stretched long shadows across the pavement. Everything looked normal. Too normal. Daniel glanced up at the gray house just as the digital clock on his phone changed to 11:42. Right on cue, the garage door began to rise again with that same quiet mechanical hum. This time, Daniel could see a narrow slice of the inside as the door lifted halfway. For a few seconds, nothing moved. No footsteps, no sounds, just darkness beyond the opening. Then Daniel noticed something inside that made his stomach tighten instantly. There was no car in the garage, no boxes, no shelves, no tools. The entire space was almost completely empty, except for one thing. Right in the center of the garage floor sat a single wooden chair, perfectly positioned to face the opening door. The chair looked ordinary, the kind someone might place at a small kitchen table, but here it sat alone, unmoving, as if it had been placed there deliberately for someone to sit and stare out into the street. Daniel felt the hairs on the back of his neck rise as the seconds passed. 30 seconds. Exactly like every other night. Then the garage door slowly lowered again, sealing the chair back inside the darkness. The street returned to silence, but now Daniel knew something he hadn't known before. Whatever this routine was, it wasn't a malfunction, and the chair waiting in that empty garage suggested that someone, somewhere, expected that door to open again tomorrow night.